This episode is brought to you by King of Beards. This is my online shop where you can find high quality products that will help you grow a strong, healthy beard that not only looks great, but also will smell great as well. Definitely the people in your life that like to get up and close with you are gonna thank you for this one. These are products that I use personally. The link is below in the video description section, and if you use my coupon code KING, you'll get 15% off on your first order. Christians often have a challenging time living in these countries coming up. The experience of Christians vary though within each of these countries, so this episode is definitely not a blanket statement for all Christians in these countries. However, this episode will list 10 countries where Christians have faced significant challenges and persecution in recent years, according to various human rights organizations. This is FTD Facts. I'm your host, Leroy Kenton, and let's jump into these countries. Starting off with number 10, we have North Korea. Christians face persecution in North Korea with virtually no religious freedom. The government tightly regulates religious activities, and they punish those who engage in any unauthorized practice with severe consequences. Christians, unfortunately, are frequently subjected to imprisonment, and their lives are made difficult. Coming in the number 9 spot, we have Afghanistan. Christians in Afghanistan face numerous difficulties, including being targeted, discriminated against, as well as social exclusion. The country has a long-standing history of disputes, and security remains uncertain in many areas in the country. Christians are often targeted by extreme organizations and have suffered from things like kidnapping, as well as other unfortunate acts done towards them. From there, let's take a look at the country of Somalia. So when it comes to Christians in Somalia, they face significant social and cultural barriers in the majority of the country. There have been reports of a lot of discrimination against Christians, and the ongoing disputes and lack of stable governance make it a challenge for them to practice their faith freely. Coming in at the number 7 spot, we have Libya. Christians over in Libya experience being targeted and discriminated against in a country that has been in a state of disputation and political turmoil for quite some time. The security situation remains very uncertain in different parts of the country, and Christians are often targeted by certain groups, unfortunately. There have been many incidences of unfortunate acts that have been reported against members of the Christian community, and it's increased in recent years. Pakistan is also a country on this list. Christians in Pakistan are subject to social, economic, and legal discrimination in many cases. They have faced attacks as well as blasphemy accusations, among other things. The government of Pakistan has received a lot of criticism for not adequately protecting all Christians and failing to address the root cause of these sort of discriminations against the Christian community. Coming in at the number 5 spot, we have the country of Eritrea. Christians in Eritrea face severe restrictions on religious freedom and are frequently subjected to repression, including arbitrary detention, as well as other forms of punishment. The government strictly regulates religious activities, and those who engage in unauthorized practices face the consequences. According to the organization, the Voice of the Martyrs, the Eritrean government is determined to eradicate evangelical Christianity, and many Christians have been jailed without being charged with anything or even given a trial. And it's pretty surprising because the country does have a very large Christian population. Sudan is next up at number 4. Despite recent political developments and the transition to a civilian-led government, while Christians in Sudan still face some challenges in the country. Historical disputes and repression have left a lasting impact on the Christian community there, which continues to experience being targeted and discriminated against in some cases. Despite some efforts though to address these issues, there are still some concerns about the government's ability to effectively protect Christians, as well as their ability to address the root causes of these mistreatments. Next up on this list is Yemen. Yemen's instability has created a hostile environment for its Christian population. Christians face discrimination and are often the targets of very unfortunate acts. The precarious security situation across many regions intensifies this challenge that are faced by Christians. And despite efforts to address these issues, well, the situation still remains very difficult for Christians in Yemen. The next country we're going to be taking a look at is Iran. The Islamic Republic of Iran imposes strict controls on religious freedom, leaving its Christian community vulnerable to repression as well as persecution. Now, the government does closely regulate religious activities and punishes those who engage in unauthorized practices, leading to the imprisonment of Christians. Despite the presence of underground church communities in Iran, the situation still remains challenging for Christians located within the country's borders because they still have to navigate this environment and the restrictions on their lives and their freedom to practice their faith, like they're still there. The country coming in at the #1 spot came as a big surprise. It's the country of India. In recent years, India has seen a surge in religious intolerance with Christians among the minority communities targeted by rising Hindu nationalism. This has led to increased incidents of targeted crimes, and despite legal protections and some efforts to address the issue, Christians in India face challenges in practicing their faith freely. There has been some church buildings of Christians as well as homes being destroyed that Christians occupy. And that does it for this episode, guys. This was a brief look at the 10 worst countries for Christians to live in. Again, this is not just a blanket statement for all Christians in all aspects of these countries. It's just looking at reports of human rights organizations and what they say about these countries in terms of the treatment of Christians on a whole. As always, I want to hear your thoughts and comments about anything that was shared in this episode. Sound off down below. Thanks for hanging out with me in this one. If this is your first time here to the channel, go ahead and subscribe as well as ring the bell. That way you'll join the FTD Facts family and you won't miss any of our future uploads. So look forward to seeing you guys in the next episode where we learn something new about our world, religion, spirituality, and things related to those. See you guys next time.